Hello, welcome to Business Africa. I am Armelle Nga. Coming up, facing the challenge of internalization is a battle of SMEs in Africa. They have difficulty competing with large companies. Sanitation of public spaces. Gabonese have been called upon to pay a tax this year for the collection of household waste. The Botswana government also called for a tightening of its budget to avoid a trade deficit. The efficiency of macroeconomic measures, improved structural factors, and access to finance are the many challenges facing SMEs in Africa. To face the competition, Gabonese, founder of the Hope brand, has embarked on the production of ecologic accessories, a brand thanks to which she was able to obtain the Made in Morocco label. The journey of this Moroccan woman by Saj Kofi and Claudine Sono.
Gabonese created the HOB brand 2 years ago. The company manufactures handmade slippers and bags in natural leather with a careful design for the comfort of mother and child. We began making the first shoes with vegetable tans leather. And the novelty is that we developed the first pineapple leather shoe, which is this one. It is a 100% vegetable material, which is totally environment friendly. And also in terms of safety, there are no chemicals used for the treatment. Making an accessory requires patience and many expert hands. From cutting to assembling, dyeing and finishing, the steps remain essentially the same for bags or slippers, but for the shapes and sizes of the parts that change. The brand no longer wants to remain local. It wants to conquer international markets and has obtained the Made in Morocco label. This certification was granted by the Professional Association of Moroccan Brands after 2 years of support. We were able to support Gabonese, the initiator of this project, in the structuring, launch, design, detection of target markets, and also the development of its export turnover. Inspired by Moroccan craftsmanship, Gabonese has decided to offer the best of Moroccan know-how. His main challenge is to conquer the international market.
Sweeping the streets, cleaning the gutters and collecting garbage, sanitation has a price. Gabonese will soon have to pay a new tax. The government announced the creation of a tax on the royalty and various contributions in the amount of 7%, which will be levied on electricity bills throughout the country, a tax that is not unanimously accepted. The details in this element by Guy Rodrigue-Loué, Ronald Kato, and our correspondent Girard Wilfred Obangome.
They have already been complaining about the high cost of electricity, but people in Gabon will soon have to pay for garbage to be collected from their streets and neighborhoods. The government in Libreville has just introduced a new levy called Contribution for Household Waste Disposal. It is levied on anyone or organization with an electricity subscription contract. The measure has been denounced by consumer protection agencies. Today, if we are brought back a new tax, I think it is quite restrictive for household incomes, which are already under pressure by so many government measures. At the level of municipalities such as Akanda near Libreville, some insist that the tax should be paid to local governments as opposed to the central treasury. To be clear, the tax levied in Akanda will have to be paid to the municipality of Akanda to be used for garbage collection, garbage treatment and gutter cleaning in Akanda and urban roads in Akanda. As long as it is a local competence, this tax must be local. There's also another concern that the government will try to use the funds to offset its huge debt in order to overcome an economic crisis brought about by the fall in oil prices.
To talk about it, let's meet John Gaspar Totume Ayi from Libreville in Gabon. Hello, Totume Ayi. Welcome to this program.
Bonjour. Hello, madam.
We learned that Gabon wants to impose a tax on electricity. We're talking about a contribution on garbage. First question, where were the funds allocated to garbage collection coming from?
In Gabon at the moment, waste collection is financed by the general state budget. That is, by all the taxes and duties that have existed in the Gabonese Republic up until now. And as you said, in the 2019 Finance Act, a specific tax was introduced for the collection of household waste, cleaning streets, and clearing gutters. But as I speak to you, this tax is not planned.
We're talking about imposing on people who have a contract with the electricity company. What about those who consume fraudulently? How will everyone pay?
Everyone who consumes electricity is supposed to pay for it. People who are cheating the national electricity company are cheating the country, and this cannot be considered as normal. It is up to the electricity company to ensure that all its customers pay their bills. I don't think that can be a problem. We cannot say we cannot put a tax in place based on grounds that can be subject to fraud. Even when it comes to taxes, there are people who defraud, but they are outside the law, so they are potential litigants.
The state must pay nearly $28 million in debt. Do you think that this tax, if it comes into force, would allow it to be paid off quickly?
No, we must differentiate two things. We do not impose a tax to repay a debt. If the state owes money to the companies that collect household waste in Libreville, the state must pay this tax. It is instituted to pay for future expenses. One wonders if it is efficient. Yes, it is efficient because it is based on a fairly large consumption, which is electricity. And the levy is easy because there's only one company that distributes electricity in Gabon. So, it is this company that will collect the tax. However, and I've said this several times, what is risky and embarrassing about this tax is that I do not see why it will be paid back to the general state budget. Local municipalities have the competence to collect household waste. I think that the proceeds of taxes will have to be paid directly to the municipality if the tax is to be effective and accepted, because what counts in the end is the consent to the tax.
There is reported dissatisfaction. Citizens are already complaining about an unfavorable economic context. Are there any untapped markets that could bring in funds for the state?
No, that's not the problem. As I mentioned earlier, the dissatisfaction comes from consent to taxation. Citizens are willing to pay taxes as long as they feel that the proceeds of these taxes are actually being used to run their country and solve their problems. The difficulty is that today, Gabonese people are entitled, and rightly entitled, to ask themselves where the proceeds of the taxes they pay go. That's where the discontent comes from. What people are saying is that we're already paying taxes without seeing the effects in our lives. So what's the point in paying more? The problems are glaring. We want to look for the niche market, but they will not be used to solve problems because today, I think that the taxes paid by Gabonese are sufficient to solve the problems that Gabon is facing today.
Thank you, Jean-Gaspard Ntutume-Ayi, for these insights. Ntutume-Ayi is the National Commissioner in charge of the budget at the Gabonese National Union.
Thank you, Madam.
We take a slight break and we'll head to Botswana, whose economic growth is in the red.